Hello everyone, it's your host who might be the most insane, the happy heathen, the prince of death, the demonic demigod, Lucius Svatwolf Helsen, and this is the Son of Hel Show for October the 17th, 2014. And on today's show, sex, lies, and... Wait, what do you mean we couldn't afford the videotape? Hell! Okay, so once again, we are doing it without the videotape because, well, I couldn't afford it this time. Today's topics, however, are of interest and do fall into line with the little introduction we have. Halle Berry wants her child support slashed, a predator teacher has issues, a pedo proposes marriage, and West Virginia goes Brokeback. Starting us off, we have an article from the Root website by Yesha Callahan, titled, Halle Berry wants child support slashed, claims ex is living off of it. Yep, you read that right. Halle Berry, who apparently divorced her ex, Gabrielle Aubry, wants him to get a job and stop living off the child support in the system that, provides it. According to TMZ, and this is a quote from The Root, Berry pays Aubry $16,000 a month for their daughter, Nala, in child support, as some may have said, even though they have joint custody. I'm not a legal expert on this one, so I don't exactly know how joint custody changes these things, but I'm presuming that he gets her half the time, so he needs to take care of her. And if there's anything I remember about alimony payments, it's typically to help keep the person in the lifestyle they are accustomed to, or at least keep the child in a lifestyle that they were moderately accustomed to. Yeah, there's quite a bit wrong with this, I suppose. Not that I'm saying, he shouldn't go out and get a job. I totally believe he should go out and get a job. I'm actually, supportive of Halle Berry not having to pay $16,000 a month in child support. Although, dear gods, that's got to be one of the most successful careers out there if you manage that one. The making $16,000 a month just to take care of your kid. God, I wish I could have that kind of luck. Let's see here. She's been paying this since June. I'm presuming of this year, so she's really only been paying for June, July, August, September, October. Wow, 5 months. Okay. Now that I'm doing the math, that might kind of hurt you there, Barry. Let's see here. More information. Quote, Barry has been paying Aubry for the $16,000 a month payment since June, when a Los Angeles judge also signed off on the custody dispute over the 6-year-old. In addition to the monthly payment, Barry was also required to pay a retroactive amount of $115,000 and $300,000 in Aubry's attorney's fees. End quote. Okay. Interesting. Alright. So, yeah, apparently he managed to make bank off her on this one. Although if she's already complaining after a mere 5 months, that I'm not sure how exactly fair that is. I mean, if we've been talking a couple of years, by all means, if the guy hadn't had a job for, 2 years and she'd been paying, that seems a bit excessive. But we're talking 5 months here, and I don't have any information about why he doesn't have a job. That being said, I mean, he's basically being a stay-at-home parent to help take care of their kid, and by not having a job, he is assuring that he will have all the time he needs for his daughter, so I can't really fault him in principle of argument for not having a job at the moment, if that's what he's doing. If he's just living off child support to take care of his daughter, to an extent, fair on. I mean, we're told stay-at-home moms should be respected and praised, at least in certain circles, so, a stay-at-home dad, I can't really argue. On that one as well, so I'm going to say that both got a bit valid points here. I will say this, though. It's nice to see Halle standing up and striking a blow for alimony equality. it's a very common tale that a wife will divorce her husband, get alimony, and then proceed not to work, and then rake in all the dough that she possibly can off of him because, oh, well, she can't support herself. When, in theory, she probably could. So, it's nice. Maybe this will bring up about some alimony reform, lower some alimony payments for people, because that is a can of worms that just gets all sort of messed up and equal, and I forget how many stories I've read about men being thrown in jail for not being able to pay their alimony and child support because it's so high. So, right on. Maybe this is a place to start the conversation about, fair and equal alimony payments and what the responsibility of the other partner is to do. I'd still say give the dude more than 5 months, though, because, this is a bad economy, and he's out in Hollywood, I'm presuming, so... actors go for years without jobs. I have no idea what he does, but, it could be that he's in a little bit of a career slump. I mean, he just got divorced. He's having to share custody of his child, and who knows what's going on. So, looking at this, I'd say that there should be a bit more research done, but, it's a starting point. It's a place to begin talking about these things, I guess. Which is good. It's always good to start talking about stuff. Right, our second article of today. Lawyer, convicted sex teacher has significant psychological issues. Yeah. Teacher sleeps with student. Teacher gets caught. Teacher claims psychological issues are the cause and they are not truly responsible for their actions. I don't even remember how old that story is now. I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's stereotypical, really. I mean, I couldn't help it. Something in my childhood or my nature made me sleep with my students. And if it's a male teacher, dear God, not only does the book get thrown at him, the rope comes out, the castrating tin snips come out, assuming they don't just go for bolt cutters or limb cutters. Is that what they're called? Those things that can take off a tree limb? Yeah. I think they're called limb cutters. Those come out, castrate him, burn him. But in this case, it's a woman. So I suppose we have to be sympathetic. I am not changing names to protect the guilty. Lauren Harrington Cooper, 32, and I'm quoting here, was Exhibit A earlier this year in my argument that America's public schools are staffed by sex-crazed perverts. This article is posted on a website called The Other McCain, and I think the title of the website states that it's done by Robert Stacy McCain and blog sidekick Smitty. I don't know which of the two wrote this one. It's not really saying. So I'm guessing it was probably either McCain or a joint effort. Let's see here. So yeah. Why is it that female teachers always get so much more sympathy for their sexual crimes, and the guys are basically just told, shut up and enjoy it? Interestingly enough, she actually is attractive, this one. So, again, I'm sure there's something there to it. Let's see here. And I'm going to quote from the website about this. This apparently is a quote from the Huffington Post about the story, quoted on the blog, so, quote, in court, Cooper's lawyer told the judge that his client, who is still married, has severe emotional problems. Quoting the lawyer. She has been diagnosed with some significant psychological issues of inadequacy, Joe Deandra said. You would think that she's a pretty young girl and that she would feel good about herself, but her self-esteem issues have really troubled her all her life, and she found comfort and solace in some people giving her attention, as wrong as it was. End quote. Now quoting the blog, because he really says this better than I could. In other words, his client, the English teacher who performed oral sex on teenage boys, is not really responsible for her crimes because her issues of inadequacy, she's troubled. She suffers from self-esteem deficit. And what she was seeking from these teenage boys was comfort and solace. Also, the taste of their semen. End quote. Really, that just says it all so much better than I could at any given moment. I mean, dear gods, I'm sorry, when was self-esteem acceptable for a validation of breaking the law? I mean, arguably, isn't that what a lot of rape is? You know, somebody's self-esteem is so terrible that they can't go out and they can't get somebody, and because they can't have somebody, their self-esteem gets worse, so eventually it creates a problem where they feel so powerless and unwanted that they have to go and empower themselves and become wanted by raping somebody. I swear to God, if I ever see a rapist saying it was my issues of inadequacy and I just wanted a personal connection, I don't know if I'm going to laugh or shoot them in the head. Actually, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an Alucard and I'm going to laugh while I shoot them in the head. Because seriously, I'm sorry, I'm not saying self-esteem deficits don't exist. Dear gods, I've had them myself. I mean, I'm technically going through one this month already, so it's not that I'm unfamiliar with the pain of not believing in yourself and believing yourself unworthy, but that doesn't mean you just get to go out and commit crimes, does it? Because if it does, somebody please tell me, because hell, there are so many crimes I want to commit right now to improve my life situation, or at least get the 3 square meals a day and free medical coverage you get in prison. So if that's the case, please, somebody tell me and cite sources so I can back this up when I go to court and say, hey, no, this is okay. I had self-esteem issues. That means I get to go out and do this. Apparently, to throw gasoline on an already raging inferno, Miss Cooper, or would it be Mrs. Cooper, was interviewed, apparently this last Friday on ABC's 2020, which I didn't realize 2020 was still around. Does anybody even watch that anymore? I mean, with the corruption of mainstream media and the divisive politics and the political chilling they do, does anybody even watch that show anymore? I guess. I didn't even know it was around. Quote, I'm glad I got caught, she told ABC's News 2020 exclusive. I went against what I know is right, and I did wrong, and there is no way to explain that away. I have no defense of myself. I was wrong, plain and simple, end quote. Paraphrasing off here, apparently the issue started because she and her husband opened a dance studio. The business took time, took a toll on their marriage, and because... Oh, okay, I see. It's her husband's fault because he didn't make her feel attractive and wanted during the stress of opening a new business, her working a job as a school teacher, and other things going on. He created the problem, so it's not really her fault, really. We should blame her husband because he did not man up and make her feel like a woman. Maybe he should have made her suck him off, I guess. Apparently that's how she felt wanted, so, Yeah, okay. And that apparently started the issues. So, she apparently claims that the boys kind of went after her. The police, noticeably furious over the interview and how she's misrepresented the situation, have come out and stated, no, she pursued all these boys. It wasn't them coming after her. It was her going after them. Yeah. But I suppose that's still not her fault. I mean, she can't be held responsible for her actions, can she? It's that low self-esteem. It just makes you chase down people and, give them blowjobs. Underage young men. Because, hey, what young man's gonna turn down a blowjob? Because, all young men just want is sex, and how would his friends think if they ever found out, hey, he turned down a blowjob from the hot teacher? It would totally ruin his man cred, so, no pressure there, and I'm sure it's all his fault for, being a sexual entity and accepting the blowjob somewhere in there. Humans are stupid. Humans are so stupid sometimes, I guess. So let's see here. Yeah, the police are upset, like I said. Here we have a quote, I think on behalf of the police. Quote, she told 2020 that the 18-year-old senior, victim number 1, sent her complimentary text messages after getting her cell phone number. His compliments bolstered her sagging self-esteem, she said. End quote. Apparently, the side note to this was, yeah, he may have texted her after he got her cell phone number, but she gave her cell phone number to his sister and said she thought he was hot. So, you know. They say we need education reform. I am not going to disagree with him on that. I don't know that more money is the solution. I don't know that different curriculum is the solution. Different teachers might be the solution. The article, or the post on The Other McCain, then proceeds to list more female predatory teachers from Virginia, Arkansas, Louisiana, Connecticut, Virginia, and Texas. Some of these I'd heard about, some of them I'd not, but it's all pretty much women who sexually molested their male students. I haven't really heard any stories about female teachers molesting female students, so that would present an interesting dichotomy, I suppose. You know, male predatory teachers ruining female innocence, or, you know, female predatory teachers giving male experience, giving males experience. Would that be it? That seems to be the story, you know. Despite the fact that younger women tend to find older men hot, and I'm sure, you know, the thing with statutory rape is that it's not rape. It's not, you know, physical assault rape. It's rape under the law. It's, you know, this person can't consent, even though they're completely consenting, which I have issues with. That is a thing for another show, though. But apparently, you know, male teacher, female student, it's rape. When female teacher, male student, it's she had self-confidence issues. So what would happen when it's a female teacher on a female student? Would that be... It's rape with self-confidence issues. Well, eventually we're going to have that because, you know, homosexual is out there. And such, I'm sure such relationships are existing. I mean, if the Vagina Monologues has taught me anything, which, other than, dear gods, that you can be emotionally scarred by people talking. I knew that one already, though. Yeah, apparently, older women and young women get together like that. So, yeah. Lady, I'm sorry, but I cannot, under the auspices of religion, rationality, or my patron goddess, say... your self-confidence issues excuse your violating the law. And violating the trust of these young men, you know. They trusted you. You were an educator. And you abused that position to get sex, to make yourself feel better. And you freely admit that. It wasn't, hey, I'm doing this for these guys. It's, no, I'm doing this for me to make myself feel better because my husband isn't, you know, making me feel special. Well, screw you, lady. And I hope he divorces you and you get a lot of jail time. On the surface of the jail time, though, I don't think she's actually getting that months. Yeah, quote, 9 to 23 months in the Luzerne County Correctional Facility, followed by 5 years of probation. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if it was a guy, it would be at least 5 years of prison and a lifetime of the sex offender registry. So, dear gods, lady, I hope you get put on the sex offender registry, and I hope you never get to teach again, because, dear fucking goddess, no. That is so wrong. And excuse my language, but just no. Okay. So, in a related note, because we've been talking about sexual predators, we now have the other way around, where it is a man on a girl. Except the girl didn't exist. This one comes from the Knoxville News Sentinel out of Tennessee. Wisconsin man nabbed in Knoxville underage sexting. I'm sure there's a joke here about the guy who does all those Dateline sex trap things. I can't remember his name for the life of me, though, so, you know. I am here for Dateline NBC. Oh, shit, there goes my boner. Said the pedophile everywhere. The one name you never wanted to hear if you liked underage girls. Or underage boys, really. So, more power to that guy, whoever's hunting the pedophiles. Let's see here. Once again, not protecting the OD. The gentleman's name is Eric Michael Johnson, and he drove all the way from Wisconsin to Knoxville to have sex with a 12-year-old girl, who apparently was being put up by her pimp of a mother. So, I have to worry here. Who's sicker? The pedophiles who come to meet these children, or the people who come up with the sting operations, who come up with the idea of, hey, I'm a mother and I'm going to pimp up my 12-year-old girl? I know you're trying to catch predators. I wholly support your efforts, but you guys have some sick shit. Apparently Johnson's 28, made a 10-hour drive to meet up with this girl. Now, okay, this is what's going to make it interesting, because this isn't just your pedophile drives halfway across the country to meet an underage girl to have sex. No, apparently this man was actually looking for a romantic relationship and was going to marry her when she became legal. So, I don't know if that makes him a pedophile or not. If he goes for him after that, maybe he's still a pedophile. I don't know. But I think at that point it's adult love. But little bit different there. I have to say, it's not usual that, marriage proposals are made with this sort of thing. At least, not quite like that. Some Facebook comments on this one drew some interest for me, though. I'm going to have the picture up here. The names have been blacked out to protect the innocent, this time. Jan, as you can see, said, desperate enough for someone to love that he would wait for a 12-year-old. That is tragically lonely. Yes. Actually, it is. They were responded to by Paula, who states, that's not lonely, that is sick. He could go on a dating site and find an adult to be with. Being attracted to a child is unnatural. Well, Paula, I'm going to actually call you out on that one. I have tried dating sites. I've been a member of a dating site for many, many years. I've had no luck with it. No luck. And it's not that I'm unattractive or anything. It's just literally, dating websites are promised to help you find someone who will love you. But like everything on the internet, it's filled with assholes, people with inflated senses of themselves, and who figure their market value is too high for you unless you're that one guy who is super rich and super handsome. You're just not going to get the time of day. So, no, dating website's not going to work. I apologize for sniffling. My allergies are killing me today. As for the second part, being attracted to a child is unnatural. Well, human history kind of says otherwise. I'm not really going to get into that discussion very much. I'm just going to simply end with a statement that's probably going to piss off a lot of people. But this is one heathen digging out at the monotheistic religions. Apparently, not so for Muhammad, the prophet of Islam. Because, hey, I think his last wife was 12? No, I think if I remember correctly, she was 9 when they got married and 12 when he deflowered her. So, if it's good enough for a holy man, I can't really say if it's unnatural on that one. So, sorry, Paula, you might want to check your first world privilege there, because that's not how human history holds itself out. I almost posted that to her on Facebook, but I decided to be mature about this and just do it on YouTube, where she's never going to find out. Yeah, no, not the bravest thing for a Norseman to do, but there you go. I was trying to be nice today. That was my one good deed. So, yeah. Good, I guess, And the fun thing is we get back to the it's not his fault stuff here. It's not self-confidence issues as much. It's actually more about how he was raised. Apparently, he became a nudist at age 10. His parents were swingers. Open about sex. Their families would come over for sex and bring their girls over. So, the kid was having sex from a young age. By all accounts on this, there is a case for this kid being sexually molested as a child, and that turning him into this pedophilia. So, There we go. Excuses once again, It's not my fault. It's how I was raised. It's my emotional issues. Which, are these going to become valid excuses? I mean, are we going to one day see the day where such relationships are completely normal because of events like this? I don't know. And I don't know how I'd feel about that if that was the case. I mean, in some ways it does seem the logical conclusion of a certain group of philosophies out there, So who knows? Maybe someday we will completely accept what we now call pedophilic love because, hey, it's not their fault. It's just who they are. And I know this is going to be a terrible segue that gets me in a lot of trouble, but speaking of, hey, who they are, West Virginia apparently has approved gay marriage. So gay people can now get married over in West Virginia. I'm going to say congratulations, actually, on this one. I'm not going to say congratulations on being enlightened, but yeah, good job, West Virginia, recognizing gay marriage. I have a bit of a history with gay marriage. I used to not believe in it, not support it. I thought gays were just, weird, sick people. In my defense, I was 17 at the time and had been raised in a highly Judeo-Christian household that had been converting to Orthodox Judaism. So, I claim brainwashing by other religion, thankfully now thrown off in the name of heathenism. And glory for Halle for that. So, I used to be, I guess, I don't know if I'd call it homophobic, because gay people didn't really scare me. It was more, gayo-squickic. I thought the idea of two guys having sex was a bit gross. Still at the time, as any 16-year-old boy does. Girl on girl was hot, so, that opened my mind a little bit, I guess. If girl on girl is hot, then I suppose guy on guy could be hot for people, too. I try to be accepting. So eventually I just decided, gays, whatever, love who you love, and just leave me out of it. And eventually I think I figured, I've had people tell me I'm pansexual, so I'm even open to that now, I guess. In small doses and in very certain conditions, so enough about me. Now about me. So anyways, I came to support gay marriage probably the last couple of years. For me, it really wasn't an issue because I'm actually anti-marriage. My parents went through a 10-year-long divorce that was complete hell and turned me from a somewhat well-adjusted, if socially naive kid into a battle-hardened PTSD demon. So, I have issues with marriage, I have issues with divorce, and my question is, why the hell would you want to get married? And I was like, oh, well, there's all these benefits, health insurance, you get to see your spouse if there's an accident, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, that's not really selling it for me because I've seen where it goes bad, so, there are times when you have an accident and you don't want your spouse to come see you because, oh god, your spouse has been a motherfucking harpy. Again, apologies for the language. So, gays wanted marriage, I guess, the grass is greener on the other side, you want what you can't have, so. Eventually, it's just like, alright, why would you want it, but okay, I guess you do. The last couple of years, though, I have to say, and this is actually because of my religion, I actually have decided to support gay marriage. Not because I consider myself a gay ally or whatever that is. I don't care. They're people, I'm people, we're all people. I don't need to be your ally, you just get to live the way you live. The reason I support gay marriage is because of my heathenism, and that's because I believe an oath should be respected. And what is marriage if not an oath between two people? And if two men can own a business, and marriage is little more than a business when you get down to it. I mean, you can wrap it up in the name of love, but it started out as business, and it's still business. That's why we have to get lawyers involved when it dissolves. If two men or two women can come together to make an oath and start a business, and it'll be recognized, why should that be different because the business is marriage rather than, say, cupcakes or fashion design, Oaths deserve to be respected as long as the person is a law-abiding citizen. Or even not a citizen, just law-abiding, As long as they are not a criminal, their oath deserves to be respected. So that's why I support gay marriage. As long as they're not criminals, their oaths deserve to be respected. So I will say this: good on Virginia. Congratulations for taking a step on the honorable path. Well done. May the gods bless you for this. And congratulations to all those gay people who are getting married. And congratulations to all those divorce lawyers who are going to get so much more business in the next 5 to 10 years. And to all those people in the homosexual community who have been using the fact that you couldn't get married to stay in your relationship, I'm sorry. And I forget which comedian said this, but, there are probably so many relationships out there that were like, oh, look, yes, love, I want to marry you, but we can't. The state wouldn't allow it, so yeah. Oh, look, honey, the state's allowing our marriage. Bye. Yeah. The gay community may find out that there is a great fear of commitment in the gay community. So, but congratulations, Mazel Tov, Skol. Let's hope that goes well for you, because I'm sure that's just going to add so much more money to the West Virginia economy. And people are getting what they wanted. So, congratulations. That's going to wrap up this episode of the Son of Hel Show. Again, leave all comments below that you like. Thoughts, questions, queries, further stuff you want me to talk about. I will take it. I will be providing links below to these stories in the About section, so you can go read them for yourself. The West Virginia story is going to be linked to a blog called Tricycle Offense, some guy's show called Communication Breakdown. I haven't seen that, so I haven't watched it. I can't vet it, so watch at your own risk. I'm just using that because he had the nice little banner about love winning and so forth. So, yeah. I take no responsibility for whatever he says on that one. And this has been the show. Once again, thank you for listening, and Hella bless you, one and all.